You are listening to This is Oklahoma, hosted by Mike Hearn, telling stories of Oklahomans and those that have made it their home.
Before we get into today's episode, I want to tell you a little bit about our current sponsors, the Oklahoma Hall of Fame. As you well know, if you've been following This is Oklahoma, they've been a huge part of this podcast. So this podcast is presented by the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, telling an Oklahoma story through its people since 1927. For more information on the Hall of Fame, go to www.oklahomahof.com and follow them on Instagram for daily updates at OklahomaHOF. Also, for the podcast, a new sponsor, RCB Bank. Since 1936, RCB Bank has offered progressive products and a friendly service. Come in today to find out more about their loan promotion on new, used, refinanced cars, boats, campers, and ATVs. Visit RCB Bank to learn more. RCB Bank, that's my bank. With approved credit, restrictions apply. Now, let's get into today's episode. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of This is Oklahoma. Mike Hearn here, your host, back with another episode down at the Bedford studio today with Nate Whitney, who works for Mizzen Main, and that's why we're connected. I guess a couple of weeks, maybe not more than a month ago now, did some work with you guys and loved the shirt. And I mean, the perfect story because I wore that same shirt on my wedding night. And being a golfer, I love that you guys have transitioned into golf as well. Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk a little bit about men's clothing today, but also a little bit about you. I guess you're the manager of that store at the moment?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Actually just moved here recently from Miami.
Okay.
And just now getting settled in.
Totally different to Miami?
Yep. A nice change of pace, I would say.
Yeah. So, did you grow up in Miami?
I grew up in Florida, Cocoa Beach, about 3 hours north of Miami.
Okay.
And lived there for 18 years.
Yeah. So, but you're older than 18, obviously.
Yep.
So, I guess, where were you born and raised then? Well, I guess raised around, but where were you born?
Was born in Cocoa Beach.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Got you. Nice. Well, so you came here. You said you recently came up here, right?
Yep, back in November.
Okay, so where is that period of like being older than 18 and going to college then? Where'd you go?
Yep, so this is going to sound crazy, but I went to Montana State.
That's a long way away.
A long way away.
You're halfway home.
Yep.
Yeah.
I literally looked at colleges.
Yeah.
I looked up mountain colleges, and I'm like, all right.
Why?
Because I wanted something completely different from Florida. I always like a kind of sense of adventure and seasons and anything other than blistering heat, but
when raining at 4:30 every day.
Yes, sir.
Shower at 4:30
yes,
day in Florida. Wow. So I mean that's a total difference, isn't it? Going from the beach and hanging out and having alligators probably wandering around Florida than going to the mountains and seeing bears in Montana.
Yep.
Gee. So growing up, then what? I guess, being in the profession that you're in now, were your interest in kind of like men's style and textiles and kind of fashion growing up?
Yeah, so I would say my peers describe me growing up as always dressing nicer than average.
Yeah.
It's not the best compliment, but I've always put thought into my outfits, I would say even throughout high school. Definitely didn't have the best taste back then, but I always did like putting thought into what I wear. I feel, you look good, you feel good.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I like the look good, feel good. One of my old golf coaches used to say that to me, and I ended up buying like a pair of Ian Poulter when he was doing clothing at the time, like horrifically look, and I still have them today because they're brilliant. I think they're brilliant. They're not brilliant. They're like checked, like plaid basically pants, red, blue, and white.
Okay.
They don't go with anything other than a navy pullover or a navy sweater and maybe white shirt and white shoes, but that's the only outfit I can pull out for them. But I usually wear them in the winter because they're really thick. But when I came out here, I never wear them because we never play golf in the winter out here, and then it's in the summer, it's 100 degrees, and you can't wear very thick layered pants in 100 degrees. So you dressed up in high school and I guess took pride and made an effort, I guess, more than most in high school. And then degree, when you go to Montana, what do you do your degree in?
So I studied finance, actually, so nothing to do with fashion.
Yeah. But still, I guess with an emphasis, you're still passionate about fashion when you're in Montana.
Yep.
And a total different style of fashion, right, in Montana. I mean, you're probably wearing smoking jackets and kind of going hunting and all the rest of it.
Oh, yeah. Before moving to Montana, I had zero winter clothes, so I didn't even know where to shop, truthfully, when going to Montana. I hadn't even seen snow before I moved there.
How was that experience when you move out there? You drive out there?
Yeah, we drove from Florida, about 36-hour drive.
Couple of day road trip just to see everything?
Yeah, we have family kind of just on the way to Montana, so it was good to kind of visit with them before heading off to college.
So 4 years at Montana State. I mean, what's that like? I haven't been to Montana yet.
Yeah, so honestly, it's incredible. I mean, you walk outside and there's mountains surrounding you. The people are kind. Mm-hmm. It is bitter cold at some months, but it's honestly one of the best experiences I've ever had.
Yeah, and so would you do this? Would you go home every summer and Christmas and holidays just to hang out, or would you figure, just enjoy Montana even more?
I enjoyed Montana even more. My mom wasn't too happy about it. She missed me, but I just got a job over the summer and worked there, and because Montana summers are just so beautiful. It's 75 every day. Gets a little chilly at night, but I mean it's just gorgeous out there.
Yeah. I mean every picture and everything I've seen or heard about. There was friends from university that I went to that ran. They ran track at SNU, but they were from Montana, and they were like, it's pretty sick when it's good weather. When it's cold, it's not fun. But when it's nice, you're hiking, you're having a good time. Something that we don't have here. I guess we have small mountains here, but what we call a mountain in Oklahoma is not what they call a mountain in Montana. So you're in school doing finance. I mean, what are you thinking? Like when you graduate, where are you thinking to get a job? Are you just what is life like when you're thinking of, senior year? So
truthfully, I had no idea what I was gonna do, and so I started working with a buddy. He started a software consulting firm, and he asked me to kind of hop on board and help out. And one thing led to another. It's kind of a long story, but I ended up in Austin, Texas, actually. And we started
capital of the world.
Yep. We started working on a startup together. Kind of developing that idea and realizing that we didn't know anything at all about creating a startup. And truthfully, I was living the startup kind of life, broke, just trying to figure things out. And I stumbled into Mizzen Main, actually.
Yeah. Okay. So, because Mizzen Main's based out of Dallas, right?
Yep.
So you stumbled into Mizzen Main in Austin and think, hang on a second, this fashion thing's pretty good. They're new technology, right? They're doing something different. And that's something, I mean, they've been around for quite some time now, but in the grand scheme of things, clothing companies, they haven't been around like as long as a Ralph Lauren or whatever. But, like with the technology and the different shirt materials, it's definitely drawing people in. I guess, was that something that kind of just drew you in as well? Like these guys doing it different. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I think it's easier from a sales perspective and just like emotionally to sell something that you actually believe in. And so, I mean, definitely comfy clothing that also looks good. Like it feels like you're wearing pajamas almost and you're looking good. There's no better combination than that.
Yeah, the new pants are amazing because they feel like sweats and they look like dress pants, which they are, which is fantastic. So you walk into the store, you're broke and you're thinking, hang on, do I want to do this startup thing anymore? And I guess ask for a job or like?
Well, truthfully, I kind of did my research on the company before I even applied. So my first day was my first time walking into the store.
Yeah.
And
that's awesome.
Yes, sir.
So you get the job, you go in and just like working 7 days a week?
Yep, not 7 days a week, but I was working part-time and then actually got just promoted to assistant manager within a short period of time. And then one thing led to another, and they asked me if I'd like to kind of move on to my own store, and I gratefully accepted.
Right, because and they don't have many stores. I was shocked when I found out there's 7, I think, nationwide, right? There's very few. And then, Classen Curve obviously is developing, and do they tell you that, hey, there's going to be a store coming up in Oklahoma City, or was it like, hey, we're thinking of opening up a new store somewhere, don't know where it is yet, are you interested?
Yep, so the store here in Classen Curve was actually, it's been around since June of 2019, I believe, and so there was actually a vacant position here, and just the way the pace I kind of live my life at, I figured Oklahoma City would be a better fit for me, and it's a new place to explore and meet new people, and there's seasons, so I figured I'd
every day of the week.
Every day of the week. But I figured I'd try a shot at it, and here I am.
So when was start date for you coming up here then?
I moved here, I think November 2nd was when I got to OKC, and then November 4th was my first day at the store.
2019?
2020.
Okay, so last year. Wow, so you really haven't been here that long.
Not at all.
Yeah, so coming up here then from Austin, I mean, obviously not that far away driving, but I mean, it's totally different vibe and stuff. I mean, what are you thinking when you drive through here? Had you been to Oklahoma before then?
I had never been to Oklahoma. Honestly, I expected the city to be bigger, but I was happy it wasn't. I feel the way I describe OKC to people is that it has the amenities and the entertainment of a big city, but it kind of feels like a small town.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you're right, because everyone kind of knows everybody once you start getting into the right circles. When you start getting into the circles, you know, like, or like the boards or whatever, you know, you're in Oklahoma City, people. There's less than 6 degrees of separation. It's more like 1.5 in Oklahoma City, and there's such a small bubble, especially in the young professional world, you know, and the clients that you're going to be selling your clothing to, like everyone will know everyone, and that's really cool for business as well.
Yeah.
So you get here, November, weather's not great, and then it snows and we have ice storms and all the rest of it. I mean, you were thrown in the deep end early on.
I moved here a week after that brutal ice storm, so I missed the worst of it. And then we got the big storm here in February, the brutal cold.
Which I guess if you're being in Montana, you're probably used to that.
Yeah, it
so
wasn't
too bad. But if you'd have come from Florida, you're like, why am I here?
Yeah.
Cool, so you get up here. November, you know, first day at the store, and like I said, this position, so you're coming into a store that's already been established. I mean, what is that like being, you know, going to a new state, being in charge of a store? Like, I mean, I don't know what that process is like. What is that like being in retail, you know, especially during 2020, right? Which was retail was like shut down, no one's going in stores, everything's going online. You know, how was all that?
Yeah, so first of all, I would say my first priority was team-wise, making sure I got to know my team and really kind of let them get to know me.
Yeah.
And then also kind of coming in and not stepping on their toes, if that makes sense. I don't want to come in there and start changing up everything that if it already works. So yeah, I came in and talked with them, got to know them, and then the biggest thing is just learning the market as a manager, you know, getting to know your clients here, your customers, forming relationships with other businesses in the community, just kind of growing your roots, extending your roots throughout the community.
Yeah. Do you find it easy to make friends here?
So far, yeah. I grew, just like I said, I grew up in Florida, and I kind of miss the Southern hospitality, if you will. It's like a mix of Southern hospitality and Midwestern values here, and so...
Yeah, I agree with you. Same for me. When I came here, I'm like, it was kind of, I think for me coming from the UK originally, I thought it was kind of strange and weird why people were so nice. And now I understand it. But at the time, I'm like, you know, usually like on the East or West Coast or back home, it's like there's a reason someone's being nice to you and they want something from you. They're trying to sell you something. And when I realized that like no one here was trying to sell them, they were just generally caring and kind of wanted to help out, and you know, like even if you asked for a great place for food or I need an oil change or just anything, like they were just overly willing to help out to the point that they might even drive you there themselves. Like, which I'm, you know, coming here as someone who's probably been grown up in Florida, been to Montana and Austin, like coming here was probably, you know, it was safe, I guess, right? It was a safe bet because Oklahoma's like generally nice. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna go to New York, right? You're thrown in the deep end and no one cares who you are or what you do or why you're here.
And living in Miami and coming to Oklahoma, it was just a really nice change of pace in that regard, and also cost of living wise too. I cannot lie.
I mean, what were you paying for, I guess, spot in Miami and then spots in Austin too?
So
compared to where you are here,
it's a little bit different between Austin and Miami, just because Austin I was living with 3 other roommates, and then Miami I was living alone. But just a general idea, Miami I was paying about $1,300 for a studio, so about like 500 square feet.
The size of this room.
If that.
That's nuts. And then obviously like Austin, you know, we live in the startup life, right? So you're sharing and everything, and that's I think at a certain time in life, that's so much fun, right? Like hanging out with buddies and just living in the same spot and like working on something or working together. But there is a time where it gets old. Doesn't it? You're like, okay, I need to grow up. I need to get a job. I need to stop eating ramen noodles every day. It's not worth it. So when you came here, you a big foodie?
I am a big foodie, and that was my biggest surprise, was just how good the food is here. Yeah. It's incredible.
Any specific style type of food?
So I always start with pizza when I go to a new place. What's the best pizza spot? And I'm still trying to figure that out. But right now, Hall's, I think, has a number 1 spot.
Yeah, Hall's is good. Good crust at Hall's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk pizza for hours. There's a new one that's There's a spot that's opened up. I haven't tried it yet. A buddy of mine keeps referring me to it, and I still haven't gone. It's called Falcone's. I think it's on May, actually. And that's supposed to be really good. Great mozzarella sticks. Empire, obviously, is kind of like a staple here. But there's so many. Like Saucy Sicilian's a great truck. We haven't had that yet. They're great. I mean, pizza, it just goes on and on, doesn't it?
Yep, it sure does.
Yeah, so obviously you start with pizza. Hall's definitely great patio. Great cookies there as well. Anything else?
In terms of food, let me think what else has... burgers, in terms of burgers, the Garage. Yeah. I love the Garage. It's probably one of the best burgers I've ever had.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's surprising because there is some good spot. I mean, Tucker's is right down. Yeah. I mean, literally next door to you.
Yeah, Tucker's is delicious as well.
You're probably sick of eating Tucker's. So it's next door to the store, isn't it? Yesterday I had New State. Have you had New State burgers
yet? I have
yet?
not.
Definitely worth it. Okay. Yeah, that's in the Plaza District. That's really good. I had New State yesterday, and I said to a buddy of mine who I had lunch with, I'm like, we should literally just start touring Oklahoma. Just straight double bacon cheeseburger and just see who has the best one. And I'm like, I don't think my stomach could take it, but it would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
I mean, food here you're right. It was definitely surprising to me. And it's, even though I've been here almost 10 years, it's kind of like, it's definitely evolved and there's always spots opening up. And it's even like on a healthy food side, like there's so many good things coming in, but who doesn't love just a greasy double cheeseburger or a piece of pizza, like when you just sat watching the game or whatever. So the outside of the food thing, then you get here, you get through obviously like end of the pandemic, the stores are opening up, you're meeting your clients, hanging out, and just generally getting your feel for like Oklahoma's fashion sense, the business culture here. I mean, it's Oklahoma casual, jeans, boots, and a shirt, isn't it? It's not like big time dress pants and a 3-piece suit or whatever. Totally probably different to some of the places you've lived. But what has that been like, selling and meeting clients, and I would assume a lot of repeat business as well.
Yeah, we call them regulars, of course, but we do have people who come in every week just repeating and repeating. But I think the most interesting part of it is just learning everybody's individual taste. What I think is an amazing shirt might not appeal to somebody else, and vice versa. It's really cool seeing everybody's fashion sense and taste and seeing what their girlfriend picks out for them.
Yeah, definitely. My wife's definitely got the eye for it. I do not. Because I'm a golfer, I kind of stick to the basics, right? And now you guys do golf shirts, and I definitely picked out a couple recently, because they're fantastic. Yep. And having Phil Mickelson as an ambassador doesn't hurt you guys either.
It does not hurt at all. Yeah. Especially with the Masters.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because he was it not last year, it was 2018 or 19, he wore the button down in one of the practice rounds.
I believe so, yeah.
And everyone gave him so much crap for it. I think he played with Tiger Woods at the time, and people were like, why are you wearing a dress shirt to play golf? And it's like, because I can.
And you can.
And I'm Phil Mickelson, I can do what I want. Oh, that's awesome. Have you been to, I guess, HQ then in Dallas? What's that like?
I have not actually had the chance to visit, but I have had the chance to visit 6 out of our 7 stores, I believe. So still need to check out HQ. It's only a 3-hour drive south, so not too far.
And hopefully it's warmer when you go down there. So the store itself then, in Classen Curve in Oklahoma City, surrounded by some other great stores as well. It's an amazing spot to shop and eat and hang out if anyone's traveling to town. Stores got when I was in there recently, it's great layout, very bright, lots of awesome clothing. Are they all kind of the same then? All the stores kind of the same layout, or is Oklahoma City a little different?
Ours is pretty unique just due to how Classen kind of set up the store, but I would say our store is my favorite personally. I'm a little biased, of course, but the windows, just all the natural light that comes in, it kind of just sets the mood and highlights the pieces we wanted to highlight.
And for people listening who don't know what Mizzen Main is, and if they haven't Googled it yet or looked at the Instagram, I mean, it's like men's smart casual dress shirts, now gone into jackets and pants, but like not like suit jackets, but you know, like quarter zips and just, I mean, it's just general, I guess, like a lifestyle men's smart casual brand, right? Yeah.
I mean, that's a good way to describe it. We started out with dress shirts initially, like that's our bread and butter. And I'm not going to say we perfected it, but we're pretty darn close. Our dress shirts are amazing, but just as current events and time has happened and situations have arisen, we've kind of realized we do need to expand and, you know, become that lifestyle brand. You know, you have golf shirts, but you also have like a pullover for later in the night, crew necks for when it's spring out, or just a dress shirt.
Yeah. Is it because you guys, I guess, don't have that many stores? It's quite a special thing to be in charge of one, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. Right? Like there's only 7 of you, right? Like it's, you know, that's quite a cool thing to have on the resume.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I definitely take pride in being the manager of the store. I mean, it's an awesome opportunity that I truthfully did not expect to have, but I'm so happy it happened. It's even customers are surprised when they find out just how many stores we have. Only 7, and they assume we're like nationwide at this point.
Yeah, I mean, when you see the size of the brand and you see the people that are wearing it and things that the brand does, you think, whoa, this is a nationwide brand, and it is, but not physically, right? Like it is online, and it, you know, shipping all around the world. With the shirts specifically, you said, you know, the dress shirts are kind of the first thing and considered the bread and butter. What makes a shirt so special for people listening that have never been, tried, or seen one of the shirts?
Yep, absolutely. So, I mean, like I said, they're our bread and butter. We put that was our initial offering, and we made sure it was a dang good one. But the way I describe it to people is it is the comfiest shirt you will wear. That is also the easiest shirt to take care of. And so all the shirts are wrinkle resistant, moisture wicking, 4-way stretch, and
that means you don't have to iron it for people listening.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the best thing. You take it out of the washing machine, you just hang it up.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, and then machine washable, so very easy to take care of.
Yeah, and then obviously evolving into, you know, newer stuff and being involved in, I guess, just. Do they, you know, with the development of new products, right? Is every kind of location that you're in kind of like a similar market, or are they all different? And then do you get much say in, you know, hey, I think like Oklahoma City's probably going to be catered better towards this kind of product? Or, I mean, how does that work as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say Mizzen is still a relatively small company, which has its perks, being that we can be super agile and make those kind of requests on the fly. We can work with planning, we can work with marketing to get what we need. And especially even design too.
Yeah, I could literally wear it every single day for any time of day. And there's a great Instagram called PJ Memes that I follow. And if you're even if you're not a golfer, it's hilarious. But the guy from PJ Memes did a series with Mizzen Main, and it was like an interview series, and it was with ambassadors of Mizzen Main, and it was really cool. And they did it over social media and Instagram, and basically it was like 5 questions. And some of my, like, Ed Milet was one guy who I follow. He was on it. I think some other influencers, golf influencers, and stuff like that. And it's just like with the speed stuff, right? With being smaller and able to move fast and agile, you get to do those cool things, right? You don't have to run it up the chain and have a giant board meeting to decide. And by that time, it's pointless doing it. But, you know, being in Oklahoma City and doing this for a very short amount of time, what do you think about, you know, the time you've had here, but also the time you've had with the company? Is this something that, you know, you want to stay here and run this store, or is this something that you want to continue to climb up the chain and manage multiple stores?
I mean, ideally, it would be very nice to manage multiple stores, but I just believe in the company and especially the people behind the company. I mean, I know we make a good product and we know our customer, so it's just continuing to better solve their problems. And so I do definitely see a bright future for Mizzen, and I would like to grow with it.
Sweet. So being in Oklahoma, obviously, like, I mean, just the place, you've almost gone a full circle, right? Like you've gone like Miami, I guess, to Montana and down to Austin, and you're coming up a little bit. So kind of like a hook, I guess. What does family think? Have they visited yet?
Have not visited at Oklahoma City yet, but I have gotten to see them recently, just for a wedding and everything going on. Yeah. But what do they think? Montana was the hardest for my mom, just being that it is definitely expensive to fly out there, as well as it's across the country from Florida.
You can't drive to that. Yeah. I mean, you can, but it's not. It's much easier to fly.
Yeah, but my family is very happy that I'm living in Oklahoma. They think it's a good place. I mean, like I said, good people. It's a safe environment, and lots to do here. Lots of ways to grow.
You a big sports fan?
I'm getting into it. I feel as I've like the Thunder here, OU. There's no way I can't be a sports fan.
Right, like it's. I had someone on the podcast recently who's huge at sports and works down at OU and stuff, and on the local radio here, and he's like, it's a good thing that we don't have an NFL team because college football's massive here.
Yeah.
You go to Oklahoma State, OU, and then Thunder, finally, if they have fans, you'll be able to go to some games.
Yeah.
But that'll be fun to do. But yeah, that's really cool. And just general like community. I think Oklahoma City is very community minded anyway. But I'm sure there are ways that, because you've been here and you want to get involved as well, like, do you have much say as a manager at the store to how like your specific store gets involved with the community or not?
Absolutely, yeah. So actually today we call it Fitness Friday, but we partnered with the Cycle Bar right next door to us, and we had our Mizzen and Cosbar kind of collaboration. Basically, a guy bikes in the shirt and he gets to keep it, and that's it. Yeah, he just gets a free shirt.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know, and it's great. I mean, everybody seems to enjoy it, and you get free shirt.
Just biking for a long time, like, or is it just kind of?
It's like the Cycle Bar, so you just complete like a one class with him. Yeah.
So he just comes in and says, "Hey, I'm going to ride." Like how? Does he have to win a competition to do it, or do you just pick someone?
You just sign up on Cycle Bar's website, and we make it happen. And we're trying to make this kind of recurring, so maybe every other month, but we're calling it Fitness Friday.
Okay, and. I mean, I like cycling. Like, I love jumping on my bike and going for a ride, and even if it's indoors, jumping on the bike, like, I can see myself riding in a shirt like that. It's not that. I don't think it's not that uncomfortable.
Yeah,
like, it's like to what you think of, like, oh, I'm gonna sit down and ride 45 minutes in a sweat in a dress shirt. Not the same thing.
No, not the same thing at all.
Like a thick cotton, like miserable dress shirt. Totally different to what you guys are doing.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I heard lots of feedback today. People were like, it's hard because you're taking a cycle class, but the dress shirt didn't add that much at all. Yeah. It wasn't that much harder.
I want to see pictures of that. That's awesome. I'd be really interested to know who that guy is, because I'm sure someone that I know knows him as well. That's hilarious. So you mentioned that. Is there any other ones that are coming up, or like ways that I guess that the brand like specifically likes to get into the community?
Yeah. So typically, wholesale wise, we're partnered with golf country clubs, golf courses in the area, but we're always looking to just further expand, reach out to more golf communities. So golf is definitely a big focus of mine. In terms of the company as a whole, we actually have we've had a few initiatives lately. In the past, we've done ATF, which is the Adapted Training Foundation.
Okay.
It is basically rehabilitation for veterans and people who've suffered like life-altering injuries, losing limbs, things like that. So that is one way we've given back, having a member of our team go there and help out and work out with the guys.
Yeah. You mentioned golf clubs. That's where I bought my first Mizzen Main shirt, was at a golf course, because I played a scramble out there and I got a voucher for the pro shop. I'm like, which most of the time when you win a voucher, it's not fun, because you just go buy golf balls, or there's never anything. Like, I don't need any more golf shirts really, but I saw the Mizzen rack and I was like, sick. Let me go grab a shirt, and that was the first time I bought one, because they'd been on the radar, and I finally got one. It was out at Quail Creek actually. Got one out there, and now I have 15, I think.
Okay.
Not just shirts, but like comfortable shirts as well, like which is the great thing about the lineup, right? Because it's not just dress shirts. Like, there's people listening or maybe watching that like who don't wear dress shirts. I have a podcast. I don't wear a dress shirt every day. I can't remember actually the last time I wore a legit dress shirt, but I've used casual shirts as well, and ones that like short sleeve, long sleeve, you can hang out. I mean, there's some that are a little thicker that I chuck a t-shirt underneath, flannel style one. Like, it's I mean, people have to just pop into the store and see it because it's a delight. And I think once you feel the product as well, that's probably the hardest thing for you, right? It's like, and I remember the sign when I bought my first shirt, the sign that was hanging from it just said, just like touch me or feel whatever, right?
Yeah.
And like when you do, you realize, because people like to dress shit, right? It's okay, it's but I think when people like wanna they're gonna be in these shirts all day, right? For most people who wear these dress shirts, and they feel the product and they feel good in it, and like, oh, this is totally different to the whatever shirt I just bought down the street, right, or in the other store. And the fits, I'm European, right, and I'm slimmer, and I don't like the kind of the bigger style US ones that are baggy under the armpits, and like the slim fit fits me great. But I did see a shirt when I was in there a couple of weeks ago. There was one that was also a really thinner material. That's a new one, right? Yes,
sir. So we released these mid-COVID actually, so last May, give or take a little bit. These are our lightweight leewards. So our bread and butter is the leeward, your more traditional kind of dress shirt, but still got that performance quality. And then we upped the game and released the lightweight leeward, which is 30% lighter, but just as easy to take care of and even more comfy.
I put it on and like I can't feel this.
Yeah,
it's so light. Like it's great for an Oklahoma summer day where it's 110 degrees and you've got to wear kind of a collared shirt.
Yeah, it's like wearing dry fit.
It really is, and it's and I know people listening are like, oh, you guys have been banging on about shirts for 30 minutes. Well, there's a legit reason, because they're that good.
Yeah.
And you should definitely try them. Or if, women are listening, your husband or boyfriend or, son or whoever, like if you need to go buy like a present for their birthday, Christmas, get it, or just get them a gift card.
Yeah.
They come in and you guys can take care of them. I guess for the rest of the year, what are you guys like focusing on? And, we've got the summer coming up, you got different products going out for hot weather, the thin shirts, stuff like that, and then obviously the golf clothing too.
Yeah, so I would say our main thing is just continuing to learn more about the people who need our products and who need our shirts, and people who want them, seeing what they like, and just continuing to kind of develop the brand that way. And then, like I said, continuing to grow our roots in the community. Being that we are such a small company, we do have a lot more say on how we go about doing that, and I mean, it's just such a fun environment to work in. And yeah,
that's awesome. So the last time, obviously, we got connected because you guys were having a huge warehouse sale, and I had a bunch of friends go there and were like, everything, it was what, like 30-40% off. Like, it was a legit sale. Like, it wasn't just like, hey, it's 10% off, come in and see everybody. It was a clearance,
I would say up more towards 70-75% off. It's our biggest sale of the year.
Do you have any of those coming up or more planned?
So we are planning more, still in the talks, but we are looking to go where our retail stores are. So maybe one in Florida. We do one in Dallas every year, but we kind of look at the data and see where that takes us.
Yeah, I texted all of my buddies who like play golf or wear shirts like that, and I had a friend of mine who's a pastor, and he's like, I legit bought like 15 shirts. I'm like, yeah, for the cost of 5, right? Like, it was such a good sale. Well, mate, I really appreciate you coming in. I'm excited. I'm glad you came to Oklahoma City. I know you haven't been here very long, but there's so much more for you to see. There's so much great food. If you have time to road trip and drive up to Tulsa, there's great things in Tulsa, or even just drive around. Like there's some great, not to plug me, but there's some Instagram pages that I pull from that do some amazing things. Oklahoma Explorer is one of them. Oklahoma Wanderer is another one. Just great restaurants. Like small towns have great, back to cheeseburgers. Small towns have great double cheeseburgers and greasy food and just real Oklahoma, right? And that's the stuff that I'm sure that you want to get into, and pizza places that are around the state, in your time here, because I think once you do that, I know you love it here now. I think you're gonna love it here even more, and hopefully stay here for a lot longer and really become an Oklahoman, kind of like I have.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, man, thanks for coming on the podcast. For everyone listening, how can they reach out? How can they get to the store? Like, where is it at, and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can either search us up, find us at mizzenmain.com, or find us over in Classen Curve. We have a store down there.
And the guys in the shop, who's in the shop with you now at the moment? So you're Nate, but the other two guys are...
Yeah, we have Logan, Quinn, and then Joseph.
Awesome.
And they are all great guys, and they will help you with whatever you need.
Definitely. Well, for everyone listening, I'll post the link in the description. You can go down to the Mizzen Main website, check out the store. And yeah, if you're a woman wanting to buy your husband some amazing kick-ass clothing, then this is the spot for you. And if you're a guy who wants to look a little better and feel comfortable when you're wearing your suit on the day, this is definitely the spot. So thanks for everyone listening. We'll catch you next episode. Cheers. This podcast is presented by the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, telling Oklahoma story through its people since 1927. For more information on the Hall of Fame, go to www.oklahomahof.com and follow them on Instagram for daily updates at OklahomaHOF. Also, huge shout out to RCB Bank for jumping on board to be a sponsor. RCB Bank's loan promotion is here for a limited time. Head into any of their 40 Oklahoma locations to get as low as 1.79 APR on your next car, boat, camper, or ATV. Apply online at rcbbank.com. RCB Bank, that's my bank. Rate and finance with approved credit. Restrictions apply. And member FDIC. Huge shout out to my sponsors. Thank you for listening. We'll catch you next episode. Cheers.
Thank you for listening. We are inspired by those around us and hope that you are too. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a review so we can keep telling your stories. For more great Oklahoma content, follow This Is Oklahoma on Facebook and Instagram.